Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Vampyr, where we just vanquished quite the boss. It was very exciting. I still have a lot to learn about, like, the details of the intricacies of the combat system, I'm sure, but at least I've learned a couple of tricks to improve.
This is despicable.
It's good, rat. Don't complain.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
But it's good. It's Om Nom Rat. Yes. Okay. I could probably see, like, where does this opening then lead me? Because the NPC was there. There's a box here I could easily get stuff and stuff from. Like, where is this? Let's find out. Do 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 do. Hello. Is that a monster? I think it is. Yeah, Rogue Skull. Sure, I can take him to school. There we are. Some items and 5 XP. Cool. Ah, Whitechapel is like some distance away. And we have these things here. Level 11. Okay. Come on. Oh, crap. Thanks, lock-on system. Boom. This better be good. Maybe? Large knife. Large and beautiful knife with a name engraved on the blade.
This must be Clay Cox's knife. A fine blade. No wonder he wants it back.
Oh. I didn't know that, but now I do. Okay. Is it usable as a weapon, or is it a quest item? Quest item, it seems. I don't... Yeah, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. None of these are openable. Right. Might as well check the rest of the water edge to see if there's anything interesting. To see if there is anything interesting. Like that. But I believe I entered the sewers that way, so it's not like a huge find. Okay. Question, if I rest, will the time go forward, or is it fine to rest and just get some level ups? Because I'd love to get some just better stats going on here. Let's investigate and see. When did this become open? Should I be worried? Okay, a couple of things. Number one, how far am I from upgrading the bone saw? I've planned. I have stuff to make these, but I'm also interested in seeing like if I could make any of the treatment for cold and bronchitis, pneumonia, sepsis, fatigue. That's a lot of sodium hypochlorite. Okay. Barbed Cudgel. 110 damage, again, really slow. Considering how the openings work, I don't think a slow weapon is the thing to go for here. It could end in a lot of anguish. That much I find likely. Right. So I'd love to just level up the used hacksaw. Ah. Oh, right. That recycles into aluminum powder and aluminum shards. Clove essence items. Yeah, probably good. Might as well. Box of pills. Codeine is required, sure. Cheap gin turns into components. Small bag of junk goes to that. Glass vial. Right. So I still need the common handle part, which I can buy, so that's not that big of a deal. Right. So I should buy that to make more damage. But see if I can, if resting, like, does time go forward badly if I just... I'm wondering why I can't do the rest of this. That's puzzling to me. Same thing with the gloves. Or claws, sorry. That's weird. More biting damage. Increase your life regen when using bite. Carry 3 serums. Number of bullets. Blood absorption, but I think I already have that as like the first one, yeah? Oh, I see how this is. And that then unlocks stuff, which I can then... So now I can do the claw, so it has more damage. From 220 to 265. I see. That makes oodles of sense. 600, I don't have enough for that though. I have enough for blood capacity, if that means anything. Maybe that is good to get. There. Now we have better physical stats to, you know, tackle this stuff. No. Confirm, yes. Do I lose any... Oh. Major district events. Every night the consequences of your actions may improve or degrade the district's health status. It can also be degraded due to diseases spreading amongst citizens. The more lives you take, the unhealthier a district becomes. If a district's health status drops below the critical threshold, it will plunge into chaos. It is for you to decide of a district's fate. Okay. But he became healthy, so that's good, right? Oswald has a headache, you know. I see. The mechanic is interesting for sure. Let's see how these things evolve. But treatment for headache. Do I even like have any idea for what that is? But yeah, the common handle. I can probably buy one from Milton. I super need it. Super need it.
Good evening, Milton.
Good
Hi.
evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Maybe.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Yeah, common handle part. I believe this is what I'm looking for.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan fellow.
Let's see.
You don't mind if I search your pockets, do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables. I will not forget you, sir, and I thank you for your generous donation.
Luckily, you talk out loud when you steal from the corpses. Just saying. Oh, damn. Really? Need to be outside to do that. Here we are.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, weapon upgrade though. You're making incremental progress into being a better fighter by health and stamina, and we might as well get a slightly better weapon out of this too. So here. You can upgrade your weapon to a new level with the required ingredients. It will inflict more damage and you will also gain access to customization slots. Right. So... oh! Upgrade a weapon! There we go. Absorb blood points when 2.5 per hit or a little bit more damage. While 2.5 is not a lot, if it happens like in the same, like I'm fighting with the weapon anyway. Difference between 75 and 82 is not like, again, considering the how much damage the bosses take. The difference between like 6 damage is probably 7 damage is something along the lines of, instead of 45 hits, it takes 41 hits or something, or 42. Which, admittedly, it's still something, but then it would possibly negate my need to draw blood in the stun and bite sense from the bosses themselves. I think it might make a difference, because the healing is something that, like, how many hits do I need to get enough blood for a healing? 2.5 per... the cost of the healing thing was like, what, 10, 20? So, probably less than 10 hits, which is... I would argue that's a pretty good deal. It'll eventually be something it has to do anyway, mind you, but at this point in the game I find it to be probably pretty good. Maybe. Okay, wait, can I just not do that yet and just look at how much the cost of 10, meaning 2.5 points would make it enough for healing in 4 hits. Yeah, I argue that's worth it, yeah. Boom. That's better. It is. But yeah, I just don't have the treatment for headache. I haven't found it. So there is that problem. So can we have a talk with the mother and son pair about the stuff we listened to?
This
Hello.
hospital seems to be falling
Good evening,
apart.
Mr. Goswick.
But in
How are you?
I'm okay.
Ah,
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
oh.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
I mean, it says healthy, so, you know.
How painful.
So painful.
And again, it... Oh, the back button was... What a weird design that the dialogue wheel is very, very, very janky and weird. Again, the makers of Life is Strange messed up a dialogue wheel and how it operates. I'm confused by that. Like, one wouldn't expect that, right? You tried to kill yourself.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
Can I help you?
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
Okie dokie.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you then.
Maybe.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Again, all of them are used up, but it's still white. It's I don't.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Doctor.
Right. So, the next thing. The other doctor. One day I will learn to reach him without too much problem. But don't... Hi.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Just you standing in the rain, you know?
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh? Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about?
These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
I'm wondering what's the good option here.
Whatever your motives, you're making money by stealing from the dead. Dr. Swansea should be informed.
No offense, sir, but Dr. Swansea is one of my customers. As I told you, I like to help people, and everybody needs help from time to time.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
So it didn't go anywhere. Okay. Right. Okie dokie. I don't think I've read this. Concerning the Brotherhood of the St. Paul Stole, I would advise our members to be very wary about these so-called scholars. Yes, indeed, most of them are always affable and respectful whenever they approach us, but it would be quite unwise for a discreet circle like the Asylon Club to foolishly speak about our goals, our members, or our traditions. I also would like to remind our fellow members that the Brotherhood itself is ancient enough to have some mysterious traditions. One of them, according to some informants, could be the ritual of the so-called Ban of the Dragon. It seems that in certain conditions, when the Brothers of St. Paul find a violent or bloodthirsty immortal, they call upon him this ban. What it is exactly, I don't know. Does it really exist? I don't know for sure either. But what I've established as facts is that whenever a hostile or vindictive vampire has threatened London, it disappeared without a trace after the Brotherhood pronounced a ban upon him. The loyal Fergal Bansha himself has never been foolish enough to openly provoke the Brotherhood. This is a lesson we must all remember. Never be considered dragon by the Brotherhood. From the Law of Asylon by Lord Redgrave, founder. Don't remember where I found that, but I do remember the note's like name. I didn't even know that that Clay needed the knife back, but now I have it, so. Hi, Clay.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc.
I have found a gift from your wife.
In that case, you'll be properly rewarded, Doc. Clay Cox is a man of his word.
I hope that won't make me an accomplice to your future crimes.
Who knows what I might do now I feel invincible again.
There we are.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Okie doke. Let's have a word. Hi.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed of the Pembroke Hospital. May I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed. So it's you who saved my friend Oswald. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
And you are?
Newton Blight. Oswald and I recently returned from the war.
Okie dokie.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
I'm a vampire.
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
Okay.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
I don't know.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
I see.
What caused your phobia
Rawr.
of rats, Newton?
Swear to
Last
Ratman.
year, following an artillery attack, I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move.
I see.
Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies.
I do.
Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
I see.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Is Oswald still in the sewer, and can I now talk to him about stuff or what? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Here we are. If he's not, then we will find a solution, I'm sure. Yeah, he's no longer there. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing to go smell the sewer air. All that stuff. I hope. Do. Loading. Yeah. Always in the same place? Yes? No? Maybe they respawn only when resting or fast traveling. Oh, but not fast traveling, I mean. Oh, hi. Hi.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
If you say so. Treatment for headache. I mean, we have codeine. That should work as well for like... Well... Actually, no, because I just realized that it's paracetamol and codeine. That's...
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Yeah, maybe.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
I see.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Okay. Why not go to a hospital?
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
If you say so.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
Oh, come on. Buried doesn't fit locked in. He kept on saying locked in again and so on, so that doesn't quite fit. And buried is actually more about the other fellow up there, like buried amongst the corpses and so on. Soldier's guilt is a very overarching thing. I don't know. I'm gonna guess childhood.
Perhaps you were trapped or locked in somewhere as a child. The horror of war could have brought this memory back to the surface.
Are you joking? I grew up on a farm. I had a bloody fantastic childhood.
Fuck off! Come on! Really? A blind guess that's wrong and it's... Come on. I resent that. That's just... That is wrong game design. You had to guess something. And it's a blind guess. That's bad game design. Again, it's not a bad game, but that's bad game design. That is absolute bullshit. Like, hey, take a blind guess between these three things, and if you choose wrong, or guess wrong, then you lose all of these things that about the... for fuck's sake.
It's locked, all right.
That is bad. Bad, 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 bad. It's like, what... Tiny common handle part might come in handy later though. At least it's not a failed side quest as such, I suppose, but... Good God, that sucks. Should we try this again? I don't know. Even this seems less difficult. I mean, but yeah, that annoys me that so what that tells me, I now need to Google every single time the game forces me into one of those dialogues. Fuck! That sucks! Okay. Hi. Okay, and now we focus on you then. You don't stagger, so I gotta be careful with this. F-bombs. Boom. The improvement to the previous approach is quite noticeable for sure. But yeah, I'm so bummed out by the fact that you're just when you exhaust the dialogue options like the game has been teaching you to do, it forces you into a three-way blind guess. Guess wrong and hint failed, hint failed, hint failed. Fuck. That is bad. Ah. Damn it. Okie dokie. So, yep, here we go. Hi, people. Who wants to...
He's mine! I'll take it!
Come on. Then we wait a little bit. Come on. Little by little. That is not a hit and you know it, game. There. Do, 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 do. Let's hope that's, you know, most of what we need to deal with. Salicin, quinine, bottle of alcohol, rusty box of pills. At least I get loot for my troubles here. Wonder if there's more fighting though. There super could be. Seems so. Hi. Boom. Claw is a friend, yes. Report about Pembroke. 2nd November from Scout Lewis Cagney to Mr. Jeffrey McCollum. Object: Pembroke Hospital Survey Vampire Activity. Sir, having observed the Pembroke Hospital for 2 weeks now, and we can confirm vampire activity there. First, we now have proof of the presence of a female leech inside the hospital. The beast is clever. She acts like a mental patient to hide her true unholy condition. I personally sneaked inside the hospital and heard the creature whining about her need for blood since her body is decaying. But it gets worse. The administrator of the Pembroke Hospital is Dr. Swansea. According to our team leader, Amanda Tilton, who died yesterday in a fight against a skull by the canal, he may be a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. If that's true, then there may be something big going on at the Pembroke. Maybe even a nest of vampires, protected by those bloody traitors of his soul. of the stole. We don't know what to do, but we are convinced you better come quickly with reinforcements and heavy gear. Again, it gets... I doubt that it's an intended typo. It gets worse. I am puzzled by some of these. Like, there's something odd about... Used Priven Stake. Attack speed 10, 15 stun. As opposed to... Oh, stamina 34. Right, so this is better in the offhand than this is the point. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's see about opening some lockers here. So we don't... Great hunt for our fallen comrades. Hail to our fallen comrades. Hail to their bravery, for we prevailed. The guard prevailed. My brothers, we hunted them down, the enemies of mankind, hidden in the dark tunnels of our modern cities. We found them in their nests and dens, and they perished. We brought the fires of battle in the blackest pits. Never had such a large-scale war been engaged by mortals against immortals. Remember this victory, my brothers, for it seals and proves our methods. Never sleep, never surrender, never give up. Yes, my brothers, our method is good, and England is safer tonight thanks to you. Thanks to those of us bitten and killed by the enemy, or our trembling hand when they turned against us. Do not tremble, my brothers, do not doubt. I cry tonight for the fallen comrades. I cry for I am an old man who finally saw my goal accomplished as I live my last years on this earth. The Guard of Priven is only half a century old, and we have already accomplished much more. The traders of St. Paul in much more accomplished much more. These traders of St. Paul in half a million. I think you mean much more than the traders of St. Paul in half a millennium. This was our first great hunt. Let them leeches who survived our wrath remember we won't stop. From the Adversary by Kendall Stone, founder of the God of Priven. Again, puzzling typos and grammatical mistakes. From the people who like made Life is Strange, who like I would imagine that they like know their thing about like, you know, how English works. I'm so weirded out by that. Like, is it just like a different team and the writers were just all on Life is Strange instead? Is that the deal here? Because or like a different part of the team, I mean, or what? Because And they're plentiful enough that they are kind of distracting. I'm gonna be honest. Right. Well, we survived this time around. That's good. So where is this? I see. So nothing to worry about in the absolute immediate. Here we are. Pembroke Hospital again. Ah, it's a way to from your reach back here if I need to be quick. I see. That's fine. That's fine. So
they belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
we've been with this through this dialogue before, but it just doesn't go anywhere. It just is this.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Oh.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why the lie?
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Ah.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Prettyface.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Okay. And again, I guessed wrong in a three-way blind guess. That's bad. I hate that so hard. I'm actually starting to sort of like ease into having a I'm starting to sort of see the good things in this one, but damn, the flaws are also so like. I hate that when just you go talk to a person, you've unlocked a hint for them, and like, what is this thing? And then they answer some random stuff, and then like, okay, three-way guess. You guess wrong, it's a fail, and you're like, yeah, but like, do I get any ideas? No, it's a three-way blind guess. You have 1 in 3 chance to be right, and if you're wrong, it's a fail, and you just never get any of that ever again. And that's just a fail because lol. It's just like, that's bad. That's so bad. Like,
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
I see.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Vampires, eternal life, endless YOLO. Yeah. I'm so frustrated by the mechanic of like blind guessing. It's just Like, because like I'm into the characters and the dialogue unraveling, and that's interesting to me. Like, even with its like somewhat clunky systems or individual lines here and there. And then just like, okay, yo, just again, three-way guess that looks like the flux capacitor from the Back to the Future movies. You guess one, it's just like fail. This blind guess. It's just imagine, right? There's no way to know what the right answer is. I feel like I worked through a lot of logic in making a guess, and it's always wrong. Like, say, for example, the dude who was traumatized for locked up things, right? I worked through the thought process of, he kept referring to, I will not be locked up again. That was my big, like, I picked up on that in my own head here, that it was probably then not buried in the war, or not buried somewhere, because it's different than locked. Buried is a little different, you know? Like, as in just under earth or debris or whatever. He kept on referring, I'll not be locked up again, or locked in again. The other option was Survivor's Guild, which felt so vague and nothing, like, from the war. And I'm like, yeah, but locked up, like locked in again, that's a specific thing as opposed to Survivor's Guild, I felt. And the third option was, it's your childhood. Considering that he kept on saying, I will not be locked in again, I figured that the only one that fit was that he was like locked into something as a child. Guess that. Wrong. Fail. And I'll never get to try again. And I literally lost his, like, quality as an NPC because I can't get those quality check marks in there now, ever again. That is fucking horrible. And in a game about, like, these dialogue, intrigue, unravelings, like, just imagine that you just work through all the work of, like, getting the hints and stuff to reach the dialogue points of, like, where are the drugs going? And then it's, and then at the final step, the game just, like, throws a D3, and if it's not 2, it's a fail. Like, what the Oh, I am puzzled by how bad game design that is. Like, again, it's not a bad game, but that part is bad game design. That is plain and simple what it is. And also, when you leave the controller unattended for, like, what? Like 3 minutes, it boots you to the main menu even when the controller is still on. What a weird thing. I've never seen that in any Xbox game I've ever played. Surely, yeah, if the controller loses the like if the controller goes offline, if it's unattended, sure. But this one just like if you don't do anything for a couple of minutes, it just like boots you into the menu. Like what? Why?
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
But yeah, I have, like, she could actually be one, because again, the hint didn't create a blue dialogue choice with her. So unless...
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Right. Oh, now here we are. Now they're blue. Never mind.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
I see. Again, three-way guess. If I guess wrong, I lose the quality, the check mark of the. So I need to Google every single dialogue scene and tree from the... that's bad. That sucks so hard. That is so terrible. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Ah. Thelma, wrong target, doodle-doodle-doo. Used to find it. The walkthroughs are really expansive too. It's not just a simple thing. It's just. Okay. Oh. Like I found a walkthrough that supposedly helps, but it doesn't apparently. Three-way guess as the final thing in almost every goddamn dialogue is bad game. Oh, again, it just booted me out again. The controller is perfectly on. See, there's a light and everything. See, has a white light, meaning it's on. Ah, damn. It's not even the fact that the combat is clunky. This dialogue garbage is the biggest problem in the game so far to me, because the story and the characters and so on are like the main meat and potatoes here, and then every single thing just like leads into this three-way guess of like guess what happens to blindly be the thing that gives you a check mark, because there's no way to know any of this shit. Fuck.
You are no vampire. You are a delusional woman, convinced she is something she is not.
How convenient to call delusional anyone who does not share your precious rationale, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Okay.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Like, this game really comes close to being really cool. Like, I've started to get a feel for the combat, which is not without issues, but it's kinda sort of... there's a serviceability to it. So, you know, and then we snag at the door like, oh, this... here is an over-leveled quest, even though you got it in the beginning. So like you'll just die, die, and then the dialogue, like constructions, like the systems, there's coolness to it. There's good ideas in there. The writing is a little touch and go in places, but the big thing is just like the most of the very intricately layered just like dialogue things. You just go here to get this, go here to get this, and then you open up the person like to talk about all the things that they can, and they're like, okay, flux capacitor time, guess one of 3. And there's no hints for it, no nothing. Logical thinking means squat. It's just like, guess one, and it just might work if you're super lucky. And I think I've guessed them all wrong, so cool. Ugh. And also, again, I can't stress this enough. See how the personal questions part is white, and this is gray. The gray part meaning that it's, you know, all are exhausted, right? Gray. Personal questions is white, but they're also already all exhausted. There's no locked option here. If like, but again, was or was not, everything here is exhausted. But it still shows up as white, as if there wouldn't be, as if there would still be something. Again, the makers of Life is Strange messed up how a dialogue wheel operates. Let's just like sink that in for a little bit. How? Like, is it just like a different part of a team and like, was it like split into Life is Strange half and Vampyr half and they just didn't share notes? Or what? I'm so confused.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
Okay, 50-50 shot. Who's got a coin? Okay, we're gonna do this the right way because I'm giving up on the dialogue choices, so not gonna Google them either. It would take forever. So, if the dice here or the die here says 1 through 3, I'll take in the left one. 4, 2, 6, I'm taking the right one. 3, left one.
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind.
Wait, you got a blood sample though.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Right. I have a feeling I actually lucked out with my die. I'm gonna throw a die for every single one of them from here on out. Every single one of them. Because I think it might fare better. Because guessing, like, with logic is apparently just that way madness lies. And somehow I feel like this is the intended way to choose the dialogue options in this one. I'm not salty. Okay, maybe I'm a little salty. I'm salty because I'm enjoying the game in many ways here, and it's just snags at the door, as Iron Imp said. I assume the dialogue options don't open up as the character leans more info. I don't think so. Not in the way that would be like. I'm sure there's someone that I can like demonstrate this with. Oh, that's you. Someone who has probably the cranky doctor. Ackroyd, hi.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Cool. Yes, here, see. Usually how this works is that there's an unchoosable option that says like hint required, right? And they don't like appear into an empty slot as such. At least that's how I'm reading the system. And even if they did, I'd still like it to be grayed out if I can't choose anything in there. But in the example we just saw, all the options were done. And I've explored before with Milton, the black guy outside who sells the upgrade items. I explored with him the same phenomenon where this was white, but I had a full wheel of these things here. I checked every single one through again, and there was no like deeper choice that I hadn't chosen before. Everything was exhausted. Every start, every split after the start, everything. All of it. And still this, for some reason, is like this.
Tell me, Waverley, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Okay, why do you wish to lead it?
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Okay, okay. Okay, 1 to 2 is left up, 3 to 4 is right up, and 5 to 6 is down. It dropped to the floor. Again. That's a 5, so it's a conservative point of view.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
Right. Is your rivalry blinding you?
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
If you say so. Cool.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Thank you for the time. Okay, I'm wondering if I should try the big bad fight. In the it's a really big bad fight though, but still.
The pain. It's here again.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
I see.
Don't worry, sir. Everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to go and get them.
Oh, right. Where was this again? Have I seen a... That seems possible. Let's go see about that. And again, I hope I'm not too salty. I'm just when an opinion surfaces, it's hard to contain. It's not an overall bad game. It just makes some really bad choices, and some things just don't seem to work in a sensible way. That's just. But it absolutely has issues, and enough of them so far that they do drag it down, absolutely. Okay, so entrance is right. Oh, I see. This one. Oh, it's a hideout, too. I'll take it. Does that mean that the extra healing potions and so on that I find just go into the stash? That's a good idea. That's a good quality of life. Again, good things in there as well, if I understood that right. Folded leather. My dear mother, when you find this letter, I'll be gone. I want you to know that I don't leave because of you. I leave this world because of the crushing weight that existence puts upon me. These times are too much for me. Sometimes I feel like Baudelaire's verses have been written as an echo from my own heart. When the low heavy sky weighs like a lid upon the spirit aching for the light, and all the white horizon's line is hid by a black day sadder than any night. It is as beautiful as it is painful, mother. I can't suffer it anymore. I don't want you to try to convince me, and it would only delay the inevitable, for I would do it again if by any chance you managed to save me once. Yeah, maybe don't... Yeah.
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
I don't think I'm gonna... again... Not an expert here, but if I would... I don't know. I fear that if I betray his trust, he may feel even more like alone in the world or whatever, and that would be bad for the future prospects of not doing that again.
It's locked.
So. Oh, fertile is the belly of the beast. Oh, one more. I pressed the correct button and the game wouldn't let me read the thing. Come on. Which one was it? This one. Fair enough, yeah. I know it's popular in games to use a dialogue wheel, but I kind of prefer things organized as a list. It's a small thing, but I think it does affect how branching paths can occur.
I never asked for this.
Thank you for the host, MIDI. Much appreciated. I can do both. Like, I've done lists and dialogue wheel. Like it's... But it just, like, the dialogue wheel here doesn't work, which is, I think, baffling. For like, they made Life is Strange. Life is Strange is about dialogue. They talk. I don't remember exactly how the like dialogue interaction system worked in Life is Strange anymore, but I think it was a wheel, or like a push direction to choose option. Gutkenhualta, morning. Good morning. We are. Oh, the sun is up. Now we will burn with the sun. Ah. There, we burned with the sun. It was very dramatic. Hi. It's very strange. Yeah, I can't help but feel that what if Don't Nod was split into different just you people work on Vampyr and you people work on Life is Strange stuff, because not only is the dialogue wheel broken, there are really baffling grammatical errors in the writing in this one. I thought at first that they are intentional, but they increasingly don't seem to be. And it's very, like, missing words, wrong letters, some really not quite... The sentence structure with the commas is very free form, let's say. it's I don't know. And also on top of that, didn't mention it's a job interview today. Cool. Hey, good luck on the job interview, and remember to just like you'll be fine as long as you just don't like climb on the table and drop your pants. I'm sure it'll go good. Just like remember to not do that, and then I'm sure it'll be fine. Fertile is the belly of the beast. Vampires create their foul progeny with blood. We all know that. Some of us witnessed the process even. But what is really going on there? Is it the only way for a vampire to breed? Let's review what we know so far. When willing to create a progeny, a vampire will not bite but give its blood to drink. Most of the victims die when bitten, but some of them survive and turn into leeches themselves. This only happens when they have assimilated the vampire blood one way or another. It is not the predator's bite, but its blood that infects the victim, who will turn if he or she survives the suffering of the metamorphosis. It also seems that a vampire can breed by having intercourse. The vampire mates to produce a child. Sexual intercourse between vampire and human rarely produce... See, look at this sentence. Sexual intercourse between vampire and human rarely produce any birth, but some of them tried anyway. That is... I realize we're in 1918. I realize that the people who write this stuff is... like, they could be somewhat not super excellent at writing, but all the... like, everything else up until that point is written well and correctly using big words like metamorphosis and so on. And then we reach this one. Intercourse between vampire and human rarely produce any birth. It's... there not only is it produces, for one, but any birth is a very weird way to... That doesn't work either. Any birth isn't that's not a thing. Like you just like scrap the whole thing and start over. Like, it's number one, grammatically just plain wrong, and number two, it's extremely stilted as well. Like, it doesn't work. Like, there's an S missing in the produce, and then the rest of it is in any And again, these people wrote Life is Strange, apparently. The same studio. That game doesn't have anything like this. It has a lot of lore notes, not issues like this. Similarly, the dialogue here is mostly good, but every once in a while the dialogue has these, like, insert brick between words. Yeah, conception is uncommon, or you could, if you want to keep the words birth and so on, you could say, for example, sexual intercourse between a vampire and a human, for one. That's also one. It's either a vampire and a human, or between vampires and humans, or people. But anyway, rarely produces offspring, or rarely results in birth of a child, or rarely results in any kind of birth. That's still a little oddly put, but it's at least grammatically correct then. But this is all kinds of no. All of a sudden, like 10 lines in an otherwise perfectly well-written note. And then just like a sentence of like, nope. And this keeps happening in the writing of the game, and I am puzzled by this. Yeah. Rarely yields children any... Yeah. All of those, absolutely. And... at first, I was convinced it was an intentional, like, use a very outdated word here that I haven't heard before, or these people are meant to be portrayed as like somewhat like borderline, not quite literate, but literate enough to. But this is an excellent example. We are indeed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines in to a rather complexly written note using big words, and all of this stuff is basically right until here. And this sentence is just like a it's the equivalent of like throwing like a greasy fish on top of an ice cream like sundae, like what why how happen how did happen this? I can't let this go. It's bothering me so hard. Why is this a thing? A vampire in gestation is only a few weeks short, and the pain is almost unbearable for the mother. If she is mortal, she will not survive the birth. The vampire comes out of her womb by tearing apart her entrails. If the mother is a blood drinker, it will probably survive and regenerate. The newborn vampire will quickly grow and turn into an adult vampire in only a few months. From The Adversary by Kendall Stone, founder of the... Yeah, like, and it's supposed to be... It's supposed to be from like a somewhat official source book, you know. I'm also eyeing the part a vampire gestation, which is like, yeah, the point gets across, but isn't it usually said the gestation period of a vampire, not the that's a visual. 3 scoops and a cod. Yeah, like a chocolate, and then some strawberry, and then the mint over here, and then just like fish. Like what? But that's what the writing in this is. It's all of a sudden these absolute bricks of just not writing in between an otherwise well-written note. Like, just keeps on happening. I don't. It bothers me. How? Why? Why? Moving on. And similarly, again, if you remember the dialogue, it's like burned into my mind that in between the dialogues, it's mostly flows, brick. And then flows again. It's just like again, when we talked to Lady Ashcroft, and we were like talking, normal stuff, and then he just goes like, I will see this woman now. And then they continue again. I'm like, right. And it just sounded really, really blunt and odd and out of place and didn't flow with the conversation at all. But the other things floated kind of okay. And again, the Life is Strange studio, which that's not an issue in those games. Say what you will about like the story of Life is Strange 2, the dialogue flows just fine. Like, you know, I am so confused. So we found this, but yeah, I'm gonna give it to Mortimer because I teleport. Oh. No one heard a thing, it's fine. I am the Silent Knight, yes. Hi. Are you a snack? Yes, you are.
Fuck, it's fast!
F-bombs. Don't mind me over there. I'm just having a bit of fun with your friend. It's all good. Boom. But yeah, that's just I like when I have a moment I need to rant about it for a little bit. That's just my character flaw. Oh boy, like I'm just fascinated by like how did the problems occur in this, because they don't seem I don't know. Like some of these problems are quite rare, especially for a studio who has, you know, strengths in writing and storytelling and dialogue, which I find then baffling. That those issues are here. Like they don't fit, you know. Like they don't strike me as like, oh, we ran out of money and then had to ship the game. They don't seem like that sort of, you know. I don't. Because they tend to get those right in their other games from the get-go. It seems like they ship in just polished state of writing. Like they would know how to do that. Oh, Mortimer, I have a note for you. Wherever you were again. The side entrance and something. I'm being confused again by the geography here. Give us a second. I feel like I've just tried to enter just the wrong place. Like this is just like a side whatever. Okay. Maybe it'll open later or something. Like I could absolutely like believe that, like, say for example, this game has slight frame rate issues. It looks to my eye that it sometimes reaches just about 60 and then dips into 30 and back again and so on, and into 25s at points when it just stutters and so on. That's fine. That's a perfectly like reasonable, like you know, studio has some Eurojank issues in technical stuff. That's that's understandably, like, those things happen, right? But like it's odd that it seems like the studio failed in their strengths in this one in an odd way, or fell short. Let's say, not failed, fell short. And it's really puzzling to me. But yeah, he was here. Yeah. Hi, door. I think the mom would like maybe need to leave the room because I need to give his suicide note back, you know.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Nothing new. Okay. I've read your letter. Well, here it is for one.
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now, please, let me be.
Will do. 100 shillings. Cool. Just... I mean, I suppose I have to do this too, because it's an option to it.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair, while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really.
My die is at the ready.
It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
Yep, here we go. Again, 1 to 2 is the upper left, 2 to 3, 4 is upper right, 5, 6 is down. 1, upper left.
The world is bleak. But maybe the pain we feel is the best compass for making it a better place.
How can we repair the world, Dr. Reed, when mankind is the biggest problem? Yes, the world will be a much better place when we're gone.
Again, white personal thing, and there's nothing to choose.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Right.
Doctor.
Sweet girl.
I feel like my experience has improved after I chose to randomly gamble all of the big dialogue choices. I'm honestly having a better time now. That must be the intended way to deal with this stuff. Okay, let's see. I'm tempted to try the really tricky boss fight in the with these. Like, it's still I'm at least a little more prepared. I have more health, more stamina, and a better weapon, but well, slightly better weapon, but still. Garling, how is Vampire Adam Jensen treating you? It is... Do you have like 5 minutes? Because it's gonna take a little while to explain. The short answer is it's intriguing, and it has good ideas, but it also tends to, at like the finish line of most ideas, or in the midsection of them, have a hurdle that they sort of trip over, and then I have 4 minutes and 55. I can try to squeeze that in. Cool. Okay, so the setting looks quite interesting, but I'm not sold on the gameplay. Basically, that's the deal, yeah. So, you may or may not have heard that the combat is clunky and weird. It's kind of like if Dark Souls was like controlled through a brick. You can get used to it, and there's intricacy to it, but it is clunky. There's no way getting around that. The combat is I've managed to pull together this thing somewhere, but still, it's tricky. And then there's an interesting mechanic of if you eat the NPCs in the game, you gain XP, right? But then they will, be gone from the game, and it will reduce the health of the district, which will be bad. Make the district more difficult to traverse or something, I'm sure. So I'm trying to not kill the NPCs.
Like a real jerk, you know that?
Give me a second.
No, so you don't be like that.
What? Like what? Like someone who felt betrayed by the man he loves? Did you ever even try to find me? Rescue me?
You know, it's not like that. I wanted to. I was so afraid to leave the hospital, not to be seen with you.
We survived this shit together. That's all that matters. I know you did your best. Fuck the wall, right? And fuck them all.
Fuck the wall. Fuck them all.
F-bombs. Cool. Go for it. Right. Anyway. So there's that. But I'm going for a don't kill the NPCs run here, which means I get less XP because I have just less to get from the things I do, side quests and so on, which leads into these really crazy, really weird scenarios where do you have any do you know the feeling, Garnling, when you accept a quest, a side quest, just you meet an NPC at like level 3 in the starting area at chapter 1. You talk to the NPC. He's like, "Oh, go get this thing for me from there." Cool. I'll get this starting quest. Then you go to the area where the thing should be, where to get the thing is. You're level 2, and there's a level 16 boss at that point, and it just like one-shots you, like... Oh. So... Like that the side quest structures, level scaling or level, like, the difficulty curve seems basically untested. Like, imagine in, again, the example of Fallout New Vegas came up where instead of it being, like, organically sort of gated to do the U into New Vegas, you instead would get, like, a side quest from the shopkeeper at the first town. Oh, go in there and go get me a Radaway, or a Radex, or Stimpack, or something from that spot, and then you're like, at level 1, you just like, go there and Deathclaw, dead. Like, that's basically what this is. And it's very, very... Games that make that mistake are rare. Like, I can think of like one or maybe some like that. That's really rare. The other weird part is that this game you may have heard is made by Don't Nod Studios, right? The people who made Life is Strange. Yes, the people whose bread and butter is story, writing quality dialogue. Yes, yes. In this one, the dialogue is okay, but it sometimes just has these really stilted, like, drop a brick in between the dialogue moments, where it's just like flow talking. It's okay, not like highs, but it works, and then just like, I will meet that woman now, and then just like flows again, and it just didn't. It has these weird moments in it. And then on top of that, we just went through how you know how in Life is Strange the writing is correct in the PC screens, emails, lore notes, anything. The English is correct. It's by the same studio. Here it's not, and I'm puzzled why. I thought at first it was like intentional, but I don't think it is. For example, this part is from The Adversary by Kendall Stone, founder of the God of... Like, it's supposed to be like a pretty, like an official source, right? And it's a really long letter where the first paragraph here, or the part, whatever, is perfectly right. Like all good. Uses big words, long sentences, whatever. Like it flows, works. And then in line 9, we get a sentence of sexual intercourse between vampire and human rarely produce any birth. Like, we basically had a clinic of in how many ways that sentence is wrong. Just grammatically. And before that it's all right, and then just like they drop these just wrong sentences in these lore notes. It's just like, what happened? Because this is the studio's bread and butter, to write correct. Like that's the... And they write so well that they can actually, like, recreate how a teenager would write texts. Like, they're so deep into how to do good writing. Like the Life is Strange people. And then this is just wrong. And on top of this, they have dialogue boxes that don't work. Example here. See how your wife in London is grayed out because it's exhausted the possibilities, yes? In here, personal questions. Now, I realize there's an empty spot in the lower right, but I've had it all filled out, all gray, and it's still, I could probably show up
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
An even better example. Where's Milton? Milton, I need to have a word. Literally. Milton, hi, listen.
Good evening.
Hi, see you. So, your life in London is grayed out, and they're all grayed out, yes? That they're like, they're exhausted, yes? The personal questions is white, which should mean that it's just something to talk about. They're all grayed out too, and I checked. I went through every single dialogue option again and checked every discerning branch again. Everything checked out. Nothing new. It's all done. And it's still white. So the Life is Strange people again, and they did not make the dialogue wheel work. Which is just like a baffling thing. I don't understand how that happens. Maybe it's a different department which doesn't have the same grasp of the language. That's my working theory is the same thing. That Don't Nod Studios just got split into two different cells of the same studio, right? And they just didn't share notes and didn't share people who could do this well.
Goodbye,
And it's odd. It's and the worst thing. I need to show this. I realize you're gonna think that I'm messing with you here, but I promise I'm not. So it's a bit of a long thing to explain, but you see that blood quality thing on these NPCs here. I'll just move my camera a bit. So these two NPCs here, these Oswald Thatcher and Newton Blight, the blood quality stuff. Yes, there's an intricate system of go find hints from items, from dialogue choices, or from items from just dialogue trees really, and so on, which will then unlock new dialogue options to you to talk to these people. Yes. And then when you sort of get this green check mark here, on those magnifying glasses, those are sort of these side successes that then improve their blood quality. That they're better NPCs, if you end up eating them, then they give more XP. I'm not going to eat them, but points still being that the correct way to just get all of the sort of info on them and find out stuff about them would be all check marks, right? Here's the thing. How that thing operates is that basically every NPC many of the NPCs have this thing where there are these, the Vampyr logo, the red Y, right? These dialogue then events happen when you start talking about new things with these people. You are suddenly thrown into a dialogue choice where it's 1 out of 3, right? Where you need to guess which dialogue choice is right. No hints, no logic, no nothing. Blind guess 1 of 3. And if you guess wrong, that is a red X, and you're never getting it back. So just think of you've spent an hour, right, finding items or something that gives a clue, talking to other people who give a clue that then you can use that clue to press in a different dialogue choice with someone else. You just unravel this whole thing, right? It's an autosave system. There's no saves coming this. Sorry. And then after all of that work of unraveling the whole thing, you're then thrown into a 3-way blind guess of, example. I needed to guess from Oswald because he suffered from claustrophobia. And then he said, well, if you're so interested about it, then guess what's the problem? And I'm like, okay, and three options, right? Claustrophobia. And this I really tried to think out, yes? The options were either he has survivor's guilt, or he was buried, or it's his childhood. And here's what I gathered from my own logic thinking here. Oswald kept on saying that that I will not be locked in again. I think he said that twice. The reason he didn't want to go into the hospital was that he was claustrophobic and he didn't want to, quote, get locked in again. So I wondered that buried wouldn't fit because, like having earth piled on top of you or whatever isn't really locked in. Yeah, there could be a coffin, sure, but like the concept of like you've been buried under something didn't fit with the locked in part, in my opinion. Like that was my logic thinking here. Second, the survivor's guilt from the World War One. It felt very vague, very like not a specific thing. It's already like. And again, the notion of will not be locked in again. It didn't fit to what he was saying about his fear. The little he did. And there's no notes, I just remembered this dialogue in my mind here. And then the third option, childhood. And I was like, that's the only one that has like an open-ended option to sort of work. Because what if he was locked into somewhere as a child and that was a trauma and created this thing? So because the others just didn't fit in my opinion to the logic of what had been said. I chose childhood, fail. Not only that, it failed this red X here, and also this red X with Newton Blight. Boom boom, fail fail, because the three-way blind guess just happened to guess wrong, after all that fucking work. My solution is from now on, every single time I see a dialogue option with that symbol on, I throw a die. I just throw a die, I do a random choice because it clearly, that's the intended way apparently. It's that bad. And in a game where the big intrigue is these dialogue, like these intricate, like, peel off these people or peel open these people and their motivations and find stuff about them, and then guess randomly blindly. LOL. What the fuck? Like, imagine a good idea just like crashing so hard into a wall, it's like amazing. And that's this game in many ways. That's what this is. I'm having a good time in many ways. I like the atmosphere, I like the music, I like the look of it, it's good. And I'm tolerating the combat when the levels are sorta kinda in the ballpark of where I am. But holy moly, the strengths just keep failing at the finish line. Like the dialogue stuff that I mentioned. It's like, wow. So that's my hopefully 5-minute answer of how it's treating me. It's like, ugh. So in general, they have a lot of good concepts, but they fail at the execution of them. Yet they at least fell very short and they fell short by making really a boneheaded choice somewhere down the line. Yes. Like I find it baffling that these problems are like that someone doesn't raise a hand and say that this actually doesn't work. It's very strange. Okay, let's try again the very, very weird boss fight that we saw in the Let's see if we can tackle that this time around. I still have my doubts, but at least I'm a little bit better prepared than before. Hi. That's one. That's two. Come on. Boom. Like, the combat takes getting used to, but I'm starting to find rhythm to it that usually sorta kinda is serviceable. But it is kind of like, what if Dark Souls was really, really not super good? That's kind of what it is. Like, it's hard to get used to the fact that your attack sort of like has this huge like step momentum forward, which like the distance becomes really difficult to accurately like guess. You if you run out of stamina, if I can demonstrate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He then has sometimes a tendency of committing to an attack after it being empty. It has done it to me at least like once, where it just like wouldn't move and I committed to an attack that was like queued up but I couldn't do. Is that with all weapons or just this one in particular? Actually, give us a quick check. I can try the like. I haven't tried the big club. I can see what that does. It is kind of similar. The move is different, but he still steps forward in a way that's kind of like. This seems a little more like sensible though, but it's still a step forward, like a momentum in a way that's kind of like surprising. Let's say this is not as bad, but yeah, one-handed handers seem to be more weird with that, and I'm not a big. Slow weapons are the openings for attacks I find are tight, so far I've been doing the one-hander instead. Also, I need to now. There. Let's see about the fight. It's right from here. Yeah, so this part I went in my in chapter 2. I had the quest in chapter 1, and then I went here at like level 5. And I was like, okay, let's forget the thing from the pharmacy. In here is a level 16 boss with 2 other enemies, which is they killed me in one hit that time, or one like a flailing attack. I was like, dead. Cool. Hi. Hi. I gotta just thin the herd immediately. That's more like it, yeah. Also, how do you deal with the teleporting enemies? Excellent question. Let me know if you find out. Also, I can't parry with this weapon. The UI glitched out on me, apparently. always be teleporting yourself. Yep, that's basic. Yeah, I wonder if I can just like just put the there. Will the parry thing now go away when I did it once with a different weapon? Seems so, yeah. Holy shit. That was Dr. Strickland's list. Ordered by Dr. Thoreau Strickland, Pembroke Hospital. List of substances and ingredients. Lacrima papaveris, medical opium. Sodium hypochlorite and potassium permanganate. Yes, some extent, yes. At this level difference, yes. But when I was level, I believe it was 5. Then it was too much because I didn't have I didn't have the health upgrades I have now.
The main ingredients of Strickland's
nor the stamina upgrades either.
Never a good move.
Like, I invested heavily in my level ups into basically just like health and stamina because I realized that I need to I need to offset some serious level differences. So at this point, yes. But at the start of the game when we got the quest, that obviously it's not impossible if you're like the god gamer from the Mount Olympus, but like that was unreasonable. I died in one flurry hit, one. But this was doable, at least. I know that's you. It has to be. Everyone in chat is the god gamer from Olympus. Yes, absolutely. But still. Also, I hope your day has been good though, and I'm welcome and all that. I forgot to say a proper welcome. So welcome, and I hope your day has been good and all that good stuff and stuff. Oh boy. I mean, I'm just a little miffed that the boss didn't even like drop any loot, I think. It just like died and that's that. Got me a solid 4.5 hours of sleep and got up at 7 AM, so it's questionable, but I see. I had an issue like that a couple of days ago. I slept 2 hours on one day and then 2 hours on the other day. And in between those, I had the visit from an... I had to deal with some rough stuff with almost no sleep. That was emotionally very, very, very bad. And still is, and has been for weeks. So, but it's all culminated between those days. Because, you know, heartache stuff and stuff, not gonna get into it. No point. I've opened up about it plenty. I feel. So, right. Good lighting with the fire. Again, there's good things, but you know. Common trigger part might be useful. I could probably like upgrade one of my like pistols or something. Oh, I've been here then. Interesting. Oh. Boom. And can I teleport in the... Oh. Boom. There we are. So this game has redeeming qualities, but it's many of the big elements fall badly short for really weird bad choices. I do like the concept of how blood works, kind of like your Estus flask in Dark Souls. I do too. And I also have separate healing potions, but very, 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 very limited. I think I can carry like 2, and they're not a simple thing to make. Like they're like you need to really know you need one to you know. Like they might be a simple thing to make later, but right now they're expensive and can't carry more than 2. So I can upgrade it to be 3 and so on, but still. The blood thing is much more like a reliable, quick, do a heal. They're much like that blood heal move is much like how Dark Souls 2 has the healing gems or whatever, the shards, those things. Life crystals, right. It is my favorite Dark Souls and I still forgot the word, but details. Details. Right, so yeah, I need to talk to There you go. Strickland. Hi.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Have I learned anything? No. But this thing.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
Okie dokie. Okay, about the secret tests.
I want to know about these
Swear to me.
tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
Okay, and see this. So I don't know if this one will result in successful or failed hint parts. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I call these just absolute guesswork. What's the good thing? So 1 and 2 is upper left, 3 and 4 is upper right, and 5 and 6 is down. 6 down.
You can't be serious. You have to stop this before you lose yourself. Lives are at stake here, remember?
I'm a competent doctor and my value has been proven already. Frankly, I'm disappointed to hear you, above all, speaking so ill of me.
Cool.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
I'm not sure if I have all of them, but I can probably check. Do. Yeah, okay, so one creates all of those, not a combined. Okay, good. That's good to know. So what do I not have is my question. I'm sure I have enough sodium hypochlorite, potassium permanganate. 6 news. Potassium permanganate inventory. I have that. Sodium hypochlorite I have plenty of. Ferrous tartrate I have plenty of. What was the last one? Ferrous tartrate, potassium permanganate, sodium hypochlorite. I think reason from medication. I mean, is that not my medical desk then? Is that the answer? I see.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
I see. That makes sense.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Again. I think it's later on in the game though. I mean, but it's a placebo thing, right? That was the point. So I'm like making accidental, like after all that gambling with a dialogue choice, it would feel like a waste to just like not go through with this, right? Right. Because it's a placebo. It's not going to do anything. He's not going to succeed in doing anything weird with it.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
There you go.
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive? Or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
Okay.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Put the medication. Do 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 do. So, aha! Success. We have made success. What's this? M. Goswick's medical file. Male, age 23, followed by Ackroyd. Status convalescence. Convalescence. Date of admission 27th of October. Date of release to be determined. Notes: the patient shows many signs of extreme fatigue and major sores on the throat, mouth, and tongue, but no sign of flu. Refuses to speak, claims it's too painful, needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision can be made concerning his release. I see.
It's locked, all right. It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Bill.
At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula.
Yay! Okay, so I actually managed to pull off all of these side quests. That's good. Now finding this one will take some doing, but I actually super need a eating break. It's been a good stint again, and I need to cut the YouTube recording as well. So indeed, quick eating break, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please do drop a like or a comment if you've enjoyed this, and comment indeed if you disagree with me about the points I raised, because I'm up for, I don't know, a friendly discussion, let's say. And let me know. But yeah, and join me here live on Twitch, because I hope it's fun to see me derp around in games. Maybe. Hopefully. Yes. So have a good one, and see you in the next video.